They say there's a stretch of road in the Australian outback that shouldn't exist. It doesn't appear on GPS. No one builds it. No one maintains it. And yet, every so often, someone turns down it. A missed sign, a wrong bend, a moment of confusion, and suddenly, you're on it. An asphalt scar through red dirt and ghost gums. Endless sky above and nothing but heat shimmer ahead. No one means to find it. But if you do, you might find something else too. An old, rusted service station, standing alone in the dust. No name, no fuel prices, just 3 pumps and a sun-bleached roof, sagging under the weight of time and something far heavier. It doesn't matter what year it is, it always looks the same. And if you pull in, the sign flickers to life. Open. Though no one has worked there in 50 years, they call it the last stop. And it always knows when you're coming. August 2022. 4 friends on a cross-country trip through Central Australia. Harper, Eli, Jess, Cam. They'd rented a camper van in Adelaide, mapped a winding trail through the Flinders, and were headed toward Alice Springs, a straight line, until Harper made a wrong turn near Marie. Didn't even realize it. They passed no signs, no cars, just sky, heat, and dust. Then the van sputtered. Cam muttered a curse. Fuel gauge says half. Engine says no. They coasted to a stop beside a rusted fence and a skeletal gum tree. No signal, no shade. That's when Eli pointed. Look, over there. Maybe 200 meters off the road. Half buried in the heat shimmer, a building. Square. Faded. A petrol station. Out of place. Out of time. They should have stayed in the van. They didn't. The sign read "Last Stop" in peeling red paint. No brand, no logo. The pumps were ancient glass, topped, metal, chained. Birds circled above, but none landed. Place looks haunted, Jess joked. The glass door opened with a tired squeal. Inside, dust, cracked tile, racks of empty shelves. But the lights were on, flickering yellow. A register sat on the counter. Behind it, an old door marked "Staff Only." And beside the register, a bell. Eli rang it. The sound was dull, muted, like it was swallowed. They waited. No one came. But from the hallway behind the door, a voice. Help yourself. Male. Old. Drawn out like breath through cracked teeth. They looked at each other, then moved toward the coolers. To their surprise, they were full. Water, drinks, even meat pies. Cam laughed. Okay. Creepy roadside miracle. He grabbed a drink, popped the lid. Eli glanced behind the counter. The staff door had opened. Just an inch. Beyond it, blackness. Harper wandered down an aisle of magazines. All of them were dated 1978. Identical issues. Same cover. Tragedy in Woomera. Entire family vanishes on desert road. She flipped one open. Every page was blank, except for one. A photo of this exact service station. Same sky, same pumps, same 4 people standing out front, but their faces were blurred. Jess screamed. They rushed to her. She stood at the bathroom door, pale, shaking. Something's in there, she whispered. Cam opened it. Empty, but the mirror was fogged. The room was freezing, and across the condensation, written in long, narrow lines, "You're already inside." They ran for the door, but it was gone. The glass wall now looked out on blackness. Not night, not shadow, just absence, like the world had stopped. Harper pulled out her phone. No service. The time flickered between 3:13 and error. The humming began. Low, electric, from the staff-only door, and now it was wide open. They should have stayed back. They didn't. The hallway stretched longer than it should have. The walls pulsed. The ceiling dripped something that hissed when it hit the floor. Each door they passed was marked with a name. Jess, Cam, Eli, Harper. Cam opened his. Inside, a child's bedroom. His childhood bedroom. Every toy in the right place, except the bed. On it himself, younger, pale, eyes open, mouth filled with dirt. He screamed. The lights exploded, and the door locked behind him. Eli opened his next classroom. Every student turned slowly toward him, their faces melting, eyeless. On the board, "You left her." He backed out. Harper and Jess turned to run. The hallway had changed. It was no longer straight. It spiraled, endless. The floor was covered in red sand. Something moved beneath it. They tripped, fell. The ground gave way, and they dropped into darkness. They landed in the basement. Concrete, wet, rotten. In the corner, a single petrol drum, rusted shut. It began to shake. Bang, 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 then split open. Out crawled a figure. Long, wrong, skin like tire rubber, joints bent backwards, its face no eyes, just a mouth full of keys, each one engraved with a name. Harper pulled Jess up. They ran, limping, back into a hallway. They passed rooms, more than there should be. In one Cam, now eyeless, whispering nonsense to a wall. In another Eli, kneeling, pulling worms from his own stomach. They didn't stop. They ran until the hallway ended in a mirror. They looked in, saw 4 people, but only 2 were still breathing. Behind them, the demon, smiling. It stepped forward and shattered the glass. They woke up outside, back in the van, engine idling, doors wide open. It was sunset. No service station in sight, no dust on their clothes, but Harper's hands were burned. And Jess? She wouldn't speak, not for days. They drove. Didn't stop until they hit Alice Springs. At a petrol station, they asked the old man behind the counter if he'd ever heard of the last stop. He didn't answer, just nodded toward a faded newspaper behind glass. Harper stepped closer. Front page. 4 tourists vanish, same road where dozens disappeared before. Photo of the station. Photo of them. But the date, September 2022. 2 weeks before they turned down that road. They say, the last stop moves. Sometimes it's in the Northern Territory. Sometimes near the Nullarbor. Sometimes it finds you right outside town. It doesn't want your soul. It wants your truth, your shame, your memory. It wants to show you who you really are. And then, it keeps that part. The service station reappears when it's hungry. Sometimes, truckers hear a bell behind them when they fuel up alone. Sometimes the map flickers. Sometimes a voice says, "Help yourself." And if you turn around, you'll see the door, open, waiting. Don't go in. Don't follow the humming. Don't open the cooler. Don't answer the voice, because you're already inside. You were always inside. And the demon behind the counter already has your name. They made it home, somehow. But something came back with them. Harper tried to live normally again. She told people she'd gotten lost, that the van broke down, that it was all exhaustion, that Cam and Eli just left. No one believed it, but no one could prove otherwise, except Jess. Jess never spoke again. She sat in corners, eyes wide, flinching at reflections. If you put a mirror in front of her, she'd scream. Once, her sister found her in the middle of the night, whispering into the bathroom sink, It's not water, it's a mouth. They institutionalized her a month later. Harper moved into a flat on the city edge. New town, new job. But the silence followed her. She began waking at 3:13 every night, to footsteps in the hallway. No one was there. The floorboards never creaked when she walked, only when she lay still. She unplugged her microwave one night. It flashed error at exactly 3:13 anyway. One morning she opened the fridge. Inside, a single glass petrol pump knob cracked, glowing faintly. No one had seen one in 50 years. She stopped sleeping, started researching. The service station? No record, no postal address, nothing on satellite images. But then she found something in a library archive. A road construction map from 1967. One line stood out, a closed road project. It ended with a handwritten note, site condemned, buried under, leave it sleeping. The road had been paved over a town, a mining town that had collapsed. 57 people had died in a gas explosion in 1952, including workers trapped beneath the fuel yard. The owner of the service station was the last known survivor. He'd sealed the tunnels himself and vanished a year later. Locals used to say he made a deal, that something was down there, beneath the rock and metal, something ancient, older than flame, older than dirt. They said the man fed it, trapped people in the station and let the demon wear their faces. Over time, it became the station. It lived in the walls, in the humming lights, in the open sign that never needed power. Harper traced reports from the 1980s. Tourists who vanished, families whose tires burst at the same bend, drivers who reappeared days later, changed, quiet, forgetful, dead within a year. The place had been erased from maps, but it moved. 2 weeks later, Harper began to see them. Cam, standing outside her building, staring up, but he never blinked and never cast a shadow. Eli, sitting in her living room when she came home, holding a photo of the four of them. Only now, there were 5 people in the picture. The 5th person wore Harper's face, but the eyes weren't hers. They were black. She tried to burn the photo. It screamed. She left town the next day, but it didn't matter. You can't escape the last stop, because it isn't a place. It's a memory, a reflection, a crack in the world's surface that opens wide just long enough to swallow who it chooses. You think you turned down the wrong road? No, the road turned toward you. Sometimes Harper drives now, late at night, nowhere in particular, always with the hope she won't come back. And when she passes dusty stations, long-closed diners, blinking signs in the dark, she listens. For the humming, for the bell, for the voice that whispers, help yourself. And if you hear it, even just once, don't answer. Don't get out. Don't walk inside. Because once you do, the lights flicker, the door closes, and your face joins the wall of missing people who never really left. They just went below, where the demon remembers and waits.
There's a shadow in the hallway and a voice beneath the floor. I lock the doors, I hold my breath, but it's closer than before. A cold wind in the mirror, footsteps on the stairs. I feel it watching silently, but nothing's ever there. Lost her whispers in the dark, calling out my name. Something in the silence wants to play a game. hours in the dark.